The coast road through Jumeirah runs for roughly 12 kilometers, between the old city to the north and the marina development to the south, and the neighborhood it passes through is the closest Dubai has to what might be called a residential coastline. The houses here are villas rather than towers, low-walled compounds set back from the road behind jasmine and bougainvillea, with private gardens and, in many cases, private beach access. Jumeirah was one of the first areas of Dubai to attract expatriate residents during the city's rapid growth in the 1980s and 90s, and it retains a character that is quieter than the commercial districts, more attuned to the rhythm of households and neighborhoods than to commerce. The road curves gently along the coast, passing cafes, small hotels, and the occasional cluster of boutiques. The beach that runs alongside is public at intervals. Several sections are managed as free public beaches, and the sand is fine and pale and faces directly onto the Gulf. In the cooler months, the beach is used throughout the day. In summer, activity concentrates at the margins of the day, when the light is horizontal and the heat has withdrawn to manageable levels. At the southern end of this coast road, on a small artificial island connected to the shore by a short causeway, stands the Burj Al Arab. The building opened in 1999, and its profile, a sail-shaped tower rising 321 meters above a man-made island, has since become the most recognizable single piece of architecture in the city, and arguably one of the most photographed buildings on Earth. It was designed by Tom Wright of W.S. Atkins and built to function as a symbol first, a hotel second. The symbolism is direct, the shape of a sail, for a city that owed its original identity to the sea. The Burj Al Arab is categorized by its own management as a 7-star hotel, a designation that exists outside any formal rating system and functions primarily as marketing. Though the physical reality does approach something beyond conventional luxury, every suite occupies 2 floors. The atrium interior, decorated in a palette of gold and primary colors that manages just barely to land on the side of spectacular rather than excessive, rises 180 meters through the center of the building. Guests are collected from the airport by Rolls-Royce. Helicopter transfers are available. The base room rate runs into the thousands of dollars per night, and the hotel is consistent in providing the experience that the price implies. Non-guests can visit the Burj Al Arab for the purpose of dining or taking afternoon tea. Reservations are required and a minimum spend applies. The experience of sitting in one of the restaurants and looking out over the Gulf is genuinely unlike being in any other building. But the building is perhaps most fully experienced from the outside, from the beach at Jumeirah Beach Hotel, which sits beside it on the mainland, or from the water, or from the Madinat Jumeirah, a vast resort complex built in the style of a traditional Arabian town with wind towers and waterways that spreads across the shoreline to the north. Jumeirah holds the tension between the domestic and the spectacular more successfully than most of Dubai's districts. The villas and their quiet streets exist within view of one of the world's most famous hotels, and neither cancels the other out. The beach runs between them, and in the early morning, before the heat arrives and before the day's transactions begin, it is simply a shoreline at the edge of a warm sea.